Good day to the TPF3703 students. This is my second video on the reminder of all the things, the key aspects you have to take into cognizance before you submit your portfolios. Remember that your portfolios are your summative exams. Some students will ask or say that, but we don't have an exam for TPF3703 or for the teaching practice modules. Your portfolios are your exams. So I would like you to caution you too also. I would like you to take note of all that I'm going to say today and to caution you on the pitfalls that you need to avoid, as I did with the previous one. Now, how to complete the lesson plan. The lessons are the main thing in both portfolio 50 and 51. In portfolio 50, it's lessons for grade R and grade 1. In portfolio 50, it's lessons for grade 2 and for grade 3. I'm going to repeat what I'm saying. In portfolio 50, it's 5 lessons for 5 school days for grade R, 5 lessons for 5 school days for grade 1. In portfolio 51, we have 10 lessons for grade 2. That means 2 weeks in grade 2 and 1 week, which is 5 days, and 5 days lessons for grade 3, right? I'm going to take you through how you need to complete your lesson. I'm projecting the lesson plan. There is your lesson plan. For every segment, for every space, there is a mark allocated. This is a very easy module to pass. And not only pass, to pass with a distinction. Because it's things that you did, I'm supporting you, and the school-based and classroom-based mentor are supporting you at school too. You need to complete the student number, write your name and student number, write the grade you are teaching and the date, which is the day, month, and year. Write the content area. What content are you teaching on that particular day? What is the subject? For foundation phase, we have 3 subjects: maths, literacy, life skills, right? The type of lesson. Is this a class lesson, a group work, outdoor, or field work? And what is the theme for the week? What is the name of the school? The name of the teacher? Your outcomes. When you teach this lesson, what would you like your learners to know at the end of the lesson? There I wrote, what would you like the learners to know at the end of your lesson? Complete that, please. Concepts and new knowledge of the lesson from the curriculum. Which concepts are you teaching during this lesson regarding the topic or the theme? What new knowledge are you teaching your learners in the content of the subject that you are teaching? You need to show that. Differentiation provided, enrichment, learner support, and concerns. Learners do not learn in the same way. Learners are not the same. There are those who learn very fast, there are those who are average, and there are those who need you to repeat and repeat or spend more time with them before they can grasp the new content. So you need to highlight how you will present the lesson to cover the different learning styles of the learners in your class. Don't use a blanket approach where you teach all learners the same, because all learners do not learn the same. There are those who are virtual learners who wants to see virtually what you are teaching them. Furthermore, what kind of enrichment activities did you prepare and present? Don't stand at the board and shout like my teachers did when I was still a little girl and I'm an old woman. They used to stand at the board with a long ruler and point, and we had to shout back. We call that rote learning. You need to be very creative as a student who is in the fourth industrial revolution. Be creative. So, what kind of enrichment activities did you prepare and present to your learners? What concerns have you addressed which affect the learners while presenting the lesson? Because you do not just teach for the sake of teaching. You are teaching that your learners should grasp the new knowledge. Lesson presentation, introduction of the lesson. When you present a lesson, your introduction should start with incorporating learners' prior knowledge and link it to the new knowledge and new concepts. You can use pictures, you can use a video clip, you can use a game, you can use a song which relates to the lesson that you are teaching. The body of the lesson, this refers to the new concepts which you will introduce and teach in class. Consolidation, that means reinforcing the lesson and the conclusion. How will you reinforce the new knowledge which you presented to the learners? It can be in question form, it can be with worksheets, it can be with an activity which learners have to complete. You don't fold your arms when they're completing it. You go around with their sitting places, their sitting areas, and assist them. Use creativity to conclude your lesson to emphasize the new concepts you introduced during the lesson. Assessment. It is important that you involve all the learners by asking them or making them repeat a sentence, a word, or a question. It should not be more of you talking, but more of the learners talking, responding to you. You can also put learners into pairs or into group so that they can complete an activity. And there should be evidence of the conclusion. Now, this section will be completed by your mentor. It is not in the mentor evaluation form, but it is in your form of lesson presentation or lesson preparation. But it is your mentor who's going to observe this. And also conclude here. Was it self-assessment of the students? Or did you ask, the learners? Did you ask your learners for peer assessment, one assessing the other? Or was it you assessing, which is teacher assessment? Type of activity. What activities did you do in class which included the learners? Was it participation? Were learners, you were asking learners questions? Or were they reading? Or were they role playing? Or was there a dialogue? Your learners should participate. It can be in the form of questions, of reading, of role playing. Also importantly, make your learners write written work. It could be in a form of a drawing, maybe if they're grade R's, to connect the dots and to color in written work, writing exercises, essays, making models, drawings, and painting. It's fun for our little ones. You are very blessed, you who are teaching foundation phase, because you teach using play as a way of teaching. Play with your learners by making models, by drawing, by painting. Type of activity again. Was it demonstration, physical demonstration, performing actions, or experiments? Models, collages, where you give your learners magazines and they cut out pictures and create collages or create an artwork or construct with the blocks. Strategy or methods. Which methods did you use or strategy did you use? Did you use questioning, listening, writing, observation, reading, interpreting, reviewing, watching a video, or were they listening to a song or listening to you? What strategies did you use to teach? Now, these are the methods that you can use. Questioning, listening, writing, observation, reading, interpreting, reviewing, watching a video, and listening. Assessment instruments. Which assessment instrument did you use? Was it a checklist, an assessment scale, an analytical rubric, an interpreting rubric? And where you say other, you need to write what other way of assessment did you use. Now here on student reflection, after teaching your lesson, your mentor teacher should say to you, Selina or Edith or Marike, you did well on this section and that section. However, you need to improve on this section, that section, that section, and that section. Now, after what the mentor had told you, you will then reflect to say, okay, I thought I did well. Don't just say student reflection good. You should write here, I need to improve in area 1 or area 2 or area 3 in this assessment instrument or inclusion or introduction of lesson or introducing new content to the learners. You write your reflection there. Resources used. You can add a page here for resources. Don't write. Put pictures, make them small. Okay, you can crop those big pictures and make them small. Here you need to paste all the resources you used when you were teaching. Remember, we give you a mark for everything. This is your teacher mentor evaluation form. It is important. If the lesson was worth 10 marks, the evaluation form is 10 marks. So if you do not complete or request your teacher mentor to evaluate you or complete the evaluation form, you are going to fail. Here is the question. How did you assist the student with the planning? Remember, in third year for teaching practice TPF3703, it's semi-independent. You are not independent. Semi-independent teaching. You have your mentor with whom you work, who assists you. So when you plan, after planning, you send your lesson or you show your mentor the lesson you are going to teach, and they will advise you on what to add or what to extract. When did the student provide the completed lesson to you? Is it before or after the lesson? It should be before the lesson so that the mentor teacher is aware of what you are going to teach. Don't give that mentor teacher your lesson plan just when you are about to teach the lesson. You should do it a day before or even during the course of the week, at the beginning of the week for the rest of the week's lessons. Planning, questions to be answered. Here, outcomes. Were the outcomes achieved? Your mentor will write not yet, almost achieved, or excellent. Concepts and new knowledge of the lesson. where new concepts and new knowledge explained, the mentor must explain here. Write the comments, please, and then allocate a 1, a 2, or a 3, or a 4. Differentiation provided enrichment learner support consents, where the types of questions posed accommodative to learners with different learning abilities. I've explained it above. You need to have differentiation. Lesson presentation, the introduction of the lesson. Here. Was the introduction relevant? Don't just do a nursery rhyme for doing it. No. Let's say you are going to do body parts. You could sing the song, head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Or, o tla opela ka Setswana wa re, tlhogo magetla sefuba le letheka, mangwele le menwana, mangwele le menwana. Now that song, it's the same head and shoulders, knees and toes. It's about body parts. That's when you were going to teach about body parts. Right? If you were going to teach about insects, you could then sing a song on insects. There were 3 little birds, there were 3 little bees in the garden, and the one little bee said to the other little bee, is your bum bum bigger than mine? Those about bees. So your introduction should be relevant. Was the introduction interesting, and did it capture the learner's attention? You could use a video recording. You could use a play. You could use a poem. Okay, but relevant to the lesson and to capture your little one's attention. Remember, the little one's concentration span is very short. Was prior knowledge included? You always build your new lesson from what is known and gradually move it to the unknown. Always start with what your learners know. Was the lesson content aligned with the learning outcomes? What do you want the learners to know or to master at the end of the lesson? What you want them to know or master at the end of the lesson should be depicted throughout the lesson. Were the activities appropriate for the age? Activities for grade R will not be the same as those for grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. They are different. The grade 3's learners will be of higher knowledge than that of the grade R's or the grade 1's and the grade 2's. Were the activities appropriate for the grade? I just mentioned that. Was the lesson learner-centered? You are not running a show, my dear student. It is about the learners and not you. Some of you, when you submit your portfolios, you paste pictures of yourself. We don't want to see you. We want to see your work. And by the way, if you are going to take pictures of the classroom, we do not want to see the learners' faces. Hide the learners' faces. According to the POPI Act, we are not supposed to see the learners' faces. Conclusion or consolidation. Did the student use rhymes, poems, songs, listening comprehension, art activity, or any other activity to consolidate the lesson? It is important that you consolidate the lesson. Our little ones learn through repetition. Use nursery rhymes, use a poem, use a song relevant to what you were teaching. Use art activities, the collages we're talking about, to consolidate this lesson. Was the lesson integrated with other subjects? Say you were teaching about animals. When teaching about animals, you could add the numbers. I've got 2 pigs, I've got 3 cows, I've got 6 horses. You have added mathematics. I have 4 balls, which are red, 5 sticks, which are brown, 2 sticks, which are yellow. You have integrated mathematics, counting and colors. You could also add shapes, squares, triangles, rectangles. That's how you integrate. And in assessing, what type of assessment was used in the lesson? Did the student use self-assessment, peer assessment, or teacher assessment? What type of activities did the student use? Was it participation, answering questions, reading activities, role play? Was it written, writing exercise? Now, our little ones will not do essays, making models, drawing and painting, demonstrating physical demonstrations. Lift up your right hand and your left foot. That's a form of demonstration. Lift up your left hand and your right foot. Bend to the right or bend to the left. Those are the activities. It will depend on what you're teaching your learners. And collages, strategy or methods. What methods did you use to teach? Was it questioning, listening, writing, observation, reading, interpreting, reviewing, or watching a video? And here, the mentor is giving you marks or allocating you marks. Was it the most suitable strategy which you used? That's your mentor. Were learners actively involved? Which assessment instruments? All these need to be ticked, okay? Because each section is a mark. It amounts to a mark. Were the assessment instrument used appropriately for the age group? Was inclusivity visible in the use of these instruments? Resources. Were the resources suitable for the lesson? Don't come with a picture as small as your cell phone and you teach a class of 40 learners or 30 learners. Or bring pictures which are big for all learners to be able to see, please. There, were the resources visible to the learners? Were the resources used enhance the learning of the new content for all learners? You need the mentor name and the mentor signature. The mentor must sign, not you. Okay? That was done. Now we go to the next one here, where it says how to compress a big document. My beloved students, don't use many big resources. Crop your resources and make them smaller. For portfolio 50, you have 10 lessons, 5 for grade R and 5 for grade 1. For portfolio 51, assessment 4, you have 10 lessons for grade 2 and 5 lessons for grade 3. In total, 15 lessons. Don't make your document unnecessarily big. Use the spaces you were provided with. Now, on how to reduce or compress a big document, that is the document that you are going to submit. I have given you this information in your announcements, in your student lounge, in your query, and I've also sent it through to you via bulk emails. It says how to reduce the size or compress a PDF. How do I reduce the size of a PDF? Right? This is how the steps. You've got step 1, step 2, step 3. Please use that. And here are the leads on how to do it. Right? Please use this to reduce or to compress your file and then submitting it. You can only submit up to 50 megabytes, but the lesser the megabytes, the better for you, right? This was not meant for us. Now, the next slide says here, how to upload a document successfully. Oh, my students, please. It says here, how to finalize a submission. Please use this. I've also sent you this information via bulk email on your student query, as well as on your student lounge. Please do not leave what you have submitted as a draft. See and ensure that you finalize the submission. I'm quickly going to get you how to submit online. That one was how to finalize submission. This one. This is how to submit online. I have also sent it through to you. It's a document of 4 pages. You have it already under your announcements, your query forum, your bulk email, your student lounge, your lesson activity. I have given you this information on how to submit an assignment on my modules. Please follow these instructions. I cannot take this time and go through them. I am just guiding you. You see there, edit submission or remove submission. That's where you can still make changes. But dear students, let me take this opportunity to warn you again or to caution you. Once you have submitted a portfolio, because it will be up to 100 pages, 120 pages, 80 pages, your portfolios are very big. When you then remember that you did not attach your attendance register, don't just add the attendance register. Remove the entire submission and resubmit the whole document. It breaks our hearts when we mark and we only find that you removed your submission and resubmitted only 1 page. When you resubmit, it cancels everything that you submitted before and takes only the new things. So make sure that when you resubmit the entire document, not just 1 page. If it is just 1 page, my heart breaks for you. I cry out for you, but there is nothing I can do. It's an exam. I mark what you have submitted and nothing else. As painful as it is, facts remain. In an exam, what you submitted online, it's what you will be assessed on. So it is imperative, very, very important, that you remove all other documents around you and you scan your portfolio. You know what some people did for assessment 1? They scanned assessment 1 tutorial letter empty. It's a 0. This has already affected your year mark. Don't be careless. Don't be in a rush. Take your time to put all your documents together. Once you have them together, then scan them one after the other, chronologically, sequentially, in a goeie volgorde. Page 1 must follow page 2. I'm sorry, page 2 must follow page 1, followed by 3, followed by 4. Do not scan page 50, then 1, then 70, then 3. No, this is not how you're going to mark you. Remember, you're a teacher. Please have order. A teacher is orderly. If you're confused, you are going to take that confusion over to the learners you are teaching, and we don't want that. You have come thus far to third year. You've done well. Applaud yourself for doing well. Now do your third year well also, so you can do your fourth year successfully. Right? I'm repeating. When you are going to submit your completed portfolios, I've taken you through the lesson plan. I've taken you through the attendance register. I've taken you through the evaluation form of the teachers, the supervision, external supervisor report. It's your declaration. That's the order. The declaration, the lesson plan, evaluation form by the mentor, right? External supervisor report, attendance register, which also has a declaration. Those 5 documents are for portfolio 50 and for portfolio 51. And pack them in that order when you scan them. Then you scan and send through. Please don't tell me that you went to the internet cafe and they did it for you. Remember, UNISA does not know the internet cafe. They know you. You are the one who entered into an agreement and a contract, a learning contract with UNISA, not those ICT services out there. So the onus falls on you as the student to ensure that you submit all your work correctly and well in advance. Right? Now, finalize, after submitting, finalize your submission. Right? After finalizing your submission, you have uploaded, then we come to the end. There is my end. I repeat, as I said before in the previous video recording, I'm just a phone call away or an email away. What you do not understand, send me an email. Yes, I will answer your phone call, but I'm going to request you to email me, please. Because emails have got evidence that you and I were supporting one another. In closing, I would like to say to you, why do I have these little children? Because your qualification is about foundation phase, grade R to grade 3. Those who are doing diplomas, it's from birth until 4 years or 6 years or 9 years. Dear student, here I'm saying success is the result of perfection. Perfection, perfection. The operation word here is perfection. Hard work, learning from failure, loyalty, and persistence. We are not going to look at failure. We are going to be perfect. We are going to work hard. We are going to learn from being loyal and from being persistent. May I go back to this loyal? Refrain from purchasing already completed portfolios from the illegal service providers. We have a way of identifying them, and once identified, it's a 0. You will be taken to student disciplinary and you will be suspended for 3 to 5 years. You don't want that happening to you. Be loyal, do your own work hard, be persistent, and strive to be perfect. How do you do it? You start by steps. The first step looks very high, like that poor person who is just thinking, how am I going to get on the first step? You can crawl up. Use anything to climb up the high first step. It says here the first step is always the hardest. But once you're up on the first step, it's easy to go until you reach your success. In so doing, my students, I would like to say best wishes. Sterkte met julle studies. Best wishes with your studies. I wish to meet you at the graduation ceremony in a year's time. Blessings. Goodbye. Ntate Madiopa, are you still there?